guess what? Yeah, I am back. I am in the lab with Eli, with Spiro, and who I'm not in the lab with is Kevin Boss. Kevin Boss was supposed to be here with us. He had something come up. So, no, he's not here. He will be with us shortly. We're going to work out something. So we're kind of
we're on the fly. We're on the fly here.
We're on the fly. We are improvising the Giants.
Yes.
Guys. You are listening to another episode of the Giants, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll drop this tomorrow. It'll be short and sweet, but we're going to get into it because evidently I was crazy last week, going crazy, and everybody was unplugging their earphones, being like, listen to Santucci go crazy. So now that we realize I'm not crazy because there's plenty of people out there that believe what I do. And then there's plenty of people that don't believe what I do. And that's okay because it's America, God damn it. All right. Now,
true.
So, gentlemen, glad to have you. Like I said, neither one of you two or myself are Kevin Boss. We will have them back. This is the Giants guys, the NYGiantsRush.com crew. We are going to start with just plain old what the bleep with starting and not starting, because there's some guys that probably we think should start and they're not. Let's not get too hooked up on what starting means, but let's start off right at the gate with Ogilari. It's got to be one of our favorite players. He's already got the old, hey, you're the rookie, Zimenez, you're getting the start. Spiro, you got an issue with Zimenez and Ogilari one starting over? And I guess in the second part of that is, do you want to see one start over the other?
Yeah, I don't really have issues with it. You know, Ogilari, I want Ogilari to force Patrick Graham's hand. I want him to dominate so that you can't take him off the field. And until that point, you know, Zimenez has a lot to prove too. So you got two hungry dogs just going at it right there. And they're going to go with the experience right off the bat. But I think what we're soon going to see is that Ogilari is just a better overall player. He can play the run better. And I think eventually he's going to win out. I don't put too much stock into the week one thing, and especially in Graham's defense, they rotate nonstop. So I'm going to say this is fine for now. I'm okay with it, but Ogilari is going to win out, and I'd say it's going to happen as quickly as next week, you know, the following week.
It's actually a little bad voodoo that I actually had a dream that Zimenez got hurt again.
Don't you say it.
Yeah.
Lord forbid.
All right, so Eli, if you're starting, if you're Patrick Graham, we already know what Patrick Graham did, but if you're Patrick Graham, who are you starting and why?
To be honest, we saw some good flashes from Zimenez at some point, you know, before injury, and we see some great flashes of Ogilari. If I was in that Pat Graham system, as far as looking back, I think I'll be okay with Zimenez starting week one. And the reason why is because we don't know what Ogilari we know what he can bring, but he is a rookie. And Zimenez knows a little bit of that playbook as well as far as certain packages. But I do think they will get those equal reps as far as when they're both on the field together. Like there'll be a packages when they're rotating in and out. So like Spiro said, I'm okay with this particular lineup, but Ogilari is going to have to take this job from Zimenez at this point. Again, Zimenez, you've seen some flashes, so you don't want to just quit on that talent per se. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he earned a spot at this point. You know what I mean? He's not a rookie anymore, right? He's just had a couple injuries and a couple setbacks. But Ogilari got to dominate, and he got to show that he's actually deserving of that spot. And that's something he hasn't done as of yet. So, again, it's all in due time. Could it be next week? Could be. Could be the week after as well. But we're going to have to wait and see what Ogilari can bring to the table. Boy, I want to see dominance. I want to see run stopping. Yes. I want to see some sacks in there. But if not, let's see what Zimenez can do, man. Why not?
You know, I like both the takes. I'm okay with Zimenez starting or Ogilari starting. I actually think they're totally two opposite players, right? I think Zimenez to me is more of a power outside linebacker / defensive end. I think he can put his hand in the dirt and rush from a 3-point or stand. Like he's more of a bull in the china shop. He did have a pretty nice game and some reps against the Browns, you know, and against the Patriots. He's showing that he's getting back in the thick of things, playing the run well, no sacks, but he's hitting the quarterback. He's a step away. And I've always liked him. He just has, you know, he had an injury bug, you know what I mean? So that's held him back. Where Ogilari to me is definitely speed and good hand play, and he's got that really unique dip bend that he does when the tackle allows it. So I'm almost thinking that they, whether he earns it or not, isn't going to change it. I think they're going to like split them 50-50 kind of a thing, because I think they're just different players. So what you get is this: we don't know which one's going to work, the big power outside linebacker or that quick, not that. And listen, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm not saying Ogilari doesn't have power. I'm just saying that he's young. So he's used to being bigger and faster than everyone. He hasn't developed a whole, a repertoire of pass moves and stuff like that. So I think it's more like, Zimenez gets, if there's 60 snaps, Zimenez gets 30, and then maybe Ogilari gets 30, or they each get 20, right?
Ogilari sets that edge too a little better. He could set that edge. He's a tough SOB, and I don't know if is it. I mean, in the preseason game, Zimenez was getting. The edge was getting exposed there.
Yeah,
towards him.
You're 100% right. He does tend to step down inside and then give up the outside instead of going upfield and then turning it back inside. Yep. Zimenez has this tendency to want to step down inside and beat the tackle across his face, which is great, but he's not built for that. He needs to be able to like go inside with a step and then come back outside and set it. So I agree with you there. Ogilari being a quick guy, he wants to go outside, which helps set the edge of funnel with it. All right. So we're both probably in agreement that these guys are going to split time.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Totally agree. 50-50.
All right, 800-pound gorilla in the room. Pert and Solder. All right. So in case you've been living under a rock today, the starting lineup came out from the New York Giants, and the starting right tackle will be Nate Solder, not Pert. And some of us kind of saw this coming, where it's like he was a project, and he was rotating in, and he got some decent snap. He actually seemed like he started off well and then faded towards last year. I'm actually, and I'll hand it right to you guys and let you guys chew it up. I'm completely okay with Solder being there, purely on the fact is I just want Dimes to like have an experienced guy there. If Pert's not ready, then why would I want Dimes to get his head blown up? Like, I'm not saying Solder's good. I'm not saying he's great. All I'm saying is that he should be smart enough to make some plays that maybe Pert's not ready to make. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, to chime in really quick too, Solder was the worst offensive lineman on the Patriots at the time. If you correct me if I'm wrong, if you call it a Pro Football Focus, which I take that with a grain of salt as well. But experience-wise, he has a little bit more technique than a Pert. Pert is still a little bit more raw. And I've been saying this from the beginning, is that Solder needs to be that right tackle guy. He's that veteran guy that's going to come in there and pretty much knows what he's doing on that particular side, even though it's not his left tackle, but just switching hand placements up, whatever the case is. But his technique is a whole lot more better, especially during the preseason when he looked at Pert. Man, he was having some sort of difficulty in some of those teams there. You know what I mean? I'm sure we all saw that and was like, I don't know. But when Solder got in there, not to say that it was better, or I guess so, but not to say that it was fantastic, but it was a tad bit better. It's a little more consistency as far as blocking on some of those combinations that are there. So we saw this coming from a mile away. I mean, like I said, I've said it before where I was like, okay, Solder got to be that guy on that right tackle. Just has to be. And I think during the preseason, it came to fruition. We saw what was Pert was capable of doing versus Nate Solder. So I'm not shocked by this. I don't know about you guys, but I'll sit back and listen.
So Spiro, tell me this, and I'm right. I think I'm right in line with Eli. Let's hypothetically say, Spiro, that Solder wants to continue to play football after next year, because we know 90%, 95% he's not going to be here. Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing: for a fact that Solder wants to put some good things on tape.
Oh yeah.
You know that he's got a chip that says, I'm not going to be here next year. I'd like to play 3 more years. I better really make this worthwhile to put some stuff on tape. Are you cool with the fact that Pert's not starting?
No, I mean, listen, I'm okay if you want to throw him out there week 1, because you got Chubb and Miller. That's a tough. But sooner or later, you're gonna have to let Pert sink or swim. And you need to find out this year whether he's going to be your starting right tackle of the future. So and I agree with a lot of what a lot of people were saying. And this is kind of my point too, is that you can't go into 2022 like with Pert switching snaps with Solder the whole year. You need to let him either really suck or you bench him. And you just moving on from in 2022.
So
because
I gotta
Spiro,
stop
let me
you right
say
there.
this.
I'm
sorry.
I gotta stop you right there because if he
Go ahead.
sucks Spiro, you're looking at Glennon playing QB.
Well, this is what they sold us on. They sold us on, hey, he's developmental, but we trust him. And why, if they had fears about him, why didn't they go bring in another tackle? And we got Solder backing up 2 young tackles. Like, what happens if Thomas sucks? Then what are you doing then? Somebody's got to go out there and just somebody's got to play, either Thomas or Pert. And you got to find out which one is the one that's going to take the job and be that guy next year, because you can't, if you went 0 for 2 on those tackles last year, that's not good at all.
Sadly, the move that was made, and no one would believe that I don't believe this is going to come out of my mouth, that as a swing backup or a competition, they should have kept Remmers.
Fleming, you mean Fleming from last year?
2 years ago was Remmers.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would even have kept Fleming at this. I would have signed back Fleming. You need that. They need that veteran guy, and let's not count it out either at this point, because it very well could still happen that this veteran's out there and they're going to make a trade. If it's a shit show at right tackle and Solder and Pert both suck, then you might have to go out and get somebody. But my point is, you need to find out and Sale and Flaherty need to get and develop somebody. Like, this is what they were brought in for.
Yeah,
they need to develop Pert.
Great point.
They also can't shelter him the whole time. You need to see what he's got against the top flight guys.
I think Pert showed some flashes.
He did,
as far as being
and then he
good.
got COVID last year. And,
exactly.
And
now something is derailing him as far as this year.
It's
because
technique.
His play.
Yeah, he's got to get that down. Right.
And you know what it was? And this to say that the different coaching on that offensive line. You want from
for sure.
You want from
Colombo.
Then you want from the other guy. Now you got Flaherty. Then you got Sales. Now you got a bunch of people there teaching these guys different techniques.
For sure.
So what development is he having as well? And right now, this is his step back year. And I think he could be a great right tackle. It's just the coaching got to develop him a whole lot better than what we're seeing right now displayed on this tape. Because last year he looked pretty damn good. I was like, okay, I'm pretty happy with Pert there. I couldn't tell you. I'll be like, no, he's not the guy. He's not.
This is what I want. Like, everybody has, good O-line coaches develop crappy players into serviceable. We're asking for this line to just be serviceable. Get these freaking guys to just do their jobs at the average level here. And, we got Flaherty and Sale who are brought in to develop them. And I pray to God, that's our saving grace right there, that they need to develop these guys, So
listen, you got 2 people teaching the offensive line at this point.
At least.
Next one is going to be more. It might be more, right? The next one's probably going to be Joe Judge in there. And if Joe Judge got to step in there, then, hey, listen.
He did it last year.
To do the job. Go find somebody else to do the job at this point then.
You don't have to worry about that, because I will tell you for a fact that I know 100% that Joe Judge is never going to step in front of Pat Flaherty. I mean, that guy is a legend on what he can do. And to have him back is a huge weight off Joe Judge's shoulders.
Oh yeah.
They do need to find out how to unlock him. There ain't no doubt about it,
For sure. And listen, again, as much as, Pat Flaherty is such a legend, when you're looking at a Pert that had a pretty good year last year and he's starting off this bad, you got to go, okay, what's going on over there as far as coaching?
We got to give him time too. Yeah, we got to give him time.
I think it's reps. Reps. You know what I mean? Like,
but then in that case, do what Spiro said: sink or swim. Go out there and fight.
Let's go. Let's find out what you got.
Well, that was the thing. That Pert should have, again, 3 preseason games, not 4. Running different guys.
He didn't play the second one either. So he essentially got.
It's the same problem I had with Jones. Stop bubble wrapping these guys and let them play, because guess what? Yeah, now it's game time and nobody knows if they can play.
That's
anyway.
Just to go off the rails. Let me just say, were you guys happy with the way the preseason was managed as far as player?
Not at all. Not a bit. Not at all. Not a bit. Not at all. Not a bit.
Okay.
Because your franchise QB, you still don't know if he could play, because he took over at game 2. He had all those interceptions and fumbles and sacks. And then in year 2, he got another new coach and another new system. And then he got hurt. And then he came back and he was soft and worried about getting hurt again. And then this year they bubble wrapped him. Like, I'm sorry. Put him in the game and let him play.
But a lot of these coaches are doing the same thing. And if Daniel Jones got hurt in the preseason, we would have never heard the end of it about why he was playing.
We're never going to hear the end of it now because we don't know if he can play. He's thrown no passes to Galladay. He's thrown no passes to
Galladay
Rudolph.
was injured though.
Yeah.
Tony and Galladay were injured, and so is Barkley. So why who are you going to throw him out there playing with? Shep.
He's
already got we've seen that disaster. We've seen that disaster.
He's got to play. Got to play.
No, hold on, but we've seen that disaster where he's out there with none of his weapons.
Yeah,
during
exactly.
preseason. It was a disaster.
I don't want a shit show.
Exactly. So maybe
when he comes out of the gate like he did with New England, averaging 6 yards a pass, okay, you're gonna say, why does he suck so bad? I'm like, because he hasn't thrown the ball down the field for weeks. Like he hasn't had,
Yeah, but the scrimmages count for something.
They're not hitting the QB.
Yeah, they were. Oh well, they weren't hitting the QB, but I hear you. They were practicing there. The coaches, I don't know if it's coach speak, but they're like the scrimmages. They took more from that than they would take from a preseason game where the schemes were vanilla.
That's a lot of talk. All I'm saying is that the quarterback needs confidence. Let's keep moving. Slayton versus Kadarius. I can't find my cleats, Tony. Let's talk about that. I mean, this kid to me, like I've given him every ounce, every angle, every chance. We created a hashtag for him. I don't know what else to do. I'm kind of over him. I'm waiting for him to pop because it will be fun when he does. It's just when and if. And I really didn't want the Giants' first round draft pick to be a when and if. I wanted just saying personally, I wanted a now check it out, look at us. I wanted to pound my chest, and we got a when and if. I get it. I'm excited for what he brings to the table, but like when you're talking with your boys at the bar, or you're talking about Giants football, everything we talk about is when and if, and we never just be like, this cat stepped on the field and blazed it. We can't say that. Everything we're talking about is hypothetical because he hasn't shown it. So can he? Yes. When? I don't know if he does. So for me, it's completely Slayton without a doubt. Okay. So if Slayton's healthy, I'm throwing the ball to Slayton. And if KT's on the field with a package, I'm excited and I'm happy because I want him to do well. But right now, it's really hard to love a cat that just has had everything go wrong for him in preseason.
Eli, you want this first? I know you're you got some feelings about this. You feel some sort of way.
So listen, if I was to say this, and Spiro agree if not, and also Santucci, but I don't think that we were saying this about Odell Beckham when he came out. Now, minus all the other stuff that people dislike Odell Beckham for, when he actually was on the field, he was spectacular, right?
Yeah.
One hand catch, everything, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that one person will rewind that. Now, I'm not saying we'll negate that or whatever the case is. Not saying that KT will be Odell Beckham like, but man, he has that potential, right? But as much as we're patient with Odell at that particular time, I think we need to find that same amount of patience for Kadarius Toney because he can be that spectacular player. Again, all hypothetical. We don't know once he get on the field, he can crap the bed. I don't know. But I think we need to give him time.
No, I'm with you. I'll tell you why. Now, and Spiro, jump in. I think why. I think what you're getting is this. So everyone was frustrated that Odell missed most of camp on a hamstring, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was drafted to be a number one, like out of the gate, getting 10 targets, catching 7, and in Tony's draft. Now, I'm not saying I think this way, I'm saying in general, the overlying theme to Tony is that out of the gate, he's a package guy, right?
Absolutely. He's a gadget guy.
So the comparison is like you have what would you say? I'm not me, but speaking in generalities of I have less tolerance for a package guy than I do as they do as Odell. Like knowing Odell's your starter at a 1, like if you were waiting for Tony to take Galladay's spot, you'd give him more slack because you need a number 1. We don't need a number 1. So you're like, come on, dude, like get on the field because he's a package guy. So you don't need him as much as you did Odell. They needed Odell, so they had to be patient.
Yeah, Spiro. Go ahead, Spiro. No, go ahead, brother.
I think this is a misconception about him. Like, he was good at the package plays at Florida, but he did more than just that. Like, I think he's going to start as a package guy because he's got such a slow start at the beginning of the preseason. But I think that number 2 spot is available right now. I think he is more dynamic than Shepard. I think he's better than Slayton, man. Slayton's kind of like, he's starting to get a little bit on my bad side, and I hate to say that because I love what he did his rookie year, but
Mr. Glass half full's got someone on his bad side?
No, I'm starting to lose a little bit of patience from my man.
Spiro. I like this. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I'm
going to get a lot of slack.
Who are you right now?
I know. Listen,
I love this.
I also got to be a realist here. For me, I think the number 2 spot is up for grabs because you got your big target in Golladay. You need your dynamic weapon, your Tyreek Hill kind of guy. And I think that Tony can be that kind of guy. He could just get him the ball in space, and he can make plays, and he could take a slant to the house like nobody else in this offense could do. What, you yawning at a dynamic 80-yard slant to the house?
Because what he did at Florida doesn't matter. I haven't seen what he does. How many players have we said were great in college and they don't do?
No, but I mean that's what you drafted him for. That's why they drafted him.
I drafted him to practice to get on the field and do something, not have no cleats.
We are 4 weeks into his 5-year career.
Exactly. Are we really going to talk about the cleats?
He was practicing. In the NFL. You could say, you want to like him. I want to like him, but we're being honest and realistic. Is that players need to play to earn?
But he's playing week 1.
Well, that's
he's
my
going to play
point.
week 1.
But that's my point. Guys don't do that. Like you could have very small expectations for a guy that has done. Like, don't get me wrong. He could take a ball. He could take a slant to the house, just like you said.
He could take any. Yeah.
Screen, slant. He's going to bring that same. He's going to bring that down. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Look, you're taking it like I'm putting a target on his back. What I'm saying is that one, he's not a 1, so the Beckham comparison doesn't work for me, right? Yeah, I'm just saying, but like
at best,
yeah, no, come on, man, no, he wasn't even a 1 in Florida, right?
Listen,
yes, he was.
No,
he was the 1,
dude.
At best, he could be a type of the pros.
He's not a 110, 15 catch guy. I'll look it up right now. Go ahead, you go. I want to see what his.
He's not a what?
His catch was. I got it.
He said he's not a 15 catch guy.
Yeah,
but at best in the pros, he could be a 2, in my opinion.
Yes.
And people make that bread. He could be a slot guy and take something to the house, in my opinion.
He can be, but you're automatically saying he can do it when guys all the time. We thought how many great wide receivers, running backs, and tight ends we see don't.
Come on.
What makes you think Ogilari is going to be a great defensive an edge player?
Because he's already shown on the field what he can do.
When?
I've already seen the reps. I've watched the reps.
What, in practice reps? Practice reps?
Wait. So 5 minutes ago, you were saying that, these guys are getting good reps versus New England and Cleveland, and it was okay for Jones that he was getting practice.
Ogilari only played one game.
And now you're like, it doesn't count.
Ogilari played one game.
I think you kind of messed up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Ogilari played one game, and it was like 10 snaps against the Jets. That's all you need to see, and then you're like, oh, he's a stud. And then,
I didn't say that either. I just said the kid's talented, and he showed in his snaps what made him such a high.
So because you didn't see Tony doing it in a game yet.
Of course, because if he doesn't show, we don't know what he can do, and they always get hurt when they miss him. It's like there's like a 68-70%. You shake your head.
But they babied him so he doesn't get hurt. That's why they babied him.
No, you're wrong. You're flat out wrong. They get soft. The guys that don't practice in preseason get soft tissue injuries all the time, and
But he had a soft tissue injury. That's why they weren't playing him. That's
great. You know what?
And COVID and all that other stuff.
Wait, Spiro thinks they shouldn't have preseason because it doesn't matter.
I did not say that. I'm saying I'd rather have him week 1. And I'd rather have him at the beginning of the season than have him 3 snaps in a preseason game and get re-injured. What's the point of that?
Listen, give me week 1 where it counts.
Yes.
Give me week 1 where it counts. You know what I mean? Like we already know preseason is just to see if they can cut, see if they can just read a high. Right. That's all preseason is.
Eli, let me ask you this: what can Tony? Do you know what Tony can do?
Judging by his college film, yes.
No, we don't care about college because I can give you 1,000 college players that were great.
Wait. But they're drafted based off their college film and what they put in college.
So what about Cade McNown? How about Cade McNown? Or how about what do you call it? Ryan Leaf. What about that?
Those are quarterbacks.
Okay,
That's a much more difficult position.
And they cracked the bed. I get it.
You want to go through bust wide receivers? I'll give you the bust wide receivers.
Listen, and they cracked the bed. That's fine. We can do.
I don't know what you're going for, though.
We can do all of that. I see what you're trying to do here.
You're granting him a pass, and you're saying like Slayton's kind of going to Slayton.
But, we know who Slayton is.
He hasn't deserved anything either. If Slayton's on your bad side, why would KT be on your good side? He hasn't done anything.
I don't know. Slayton's a 3. Slayton's a 3 at best.
A 3.
You're crazy.
Slayton's a 3.
Yes.
You just want KT.
Carl Banks is going to hate on us,
and so do I.
No.
But I'm not gonna take a guy who's done nothing over a guy who's done something.
I see where you're coming from as far as experience. That's why we did the Zimenez and the Ogilari thing. I see it. That's
the whole point. Is how could I take KT over Slayton? He hasn't shown he can even put cleats on.
Hey, because this is everybody's got to have their opinions. This is an opinion show. This is our opinion, and you have yours, and that's why that's what makes us great. That's what makes us great.
Okay, let me ask you this: what is my opinion?
Your opinion is that you haven't seen enough of Tony, so you don't think he's gonna show. I don't know what. I don't actually know what your opinion is.
See, you don't know.
You think he's gonna be a gadget player, so he's not.
Listen,
so you don't trust it. You just said that because OBJ was going to be a number 1, you're going to have patience with him, but because
the fan base had patience with OBJ because he was coming in as the savior for Eli Manning to be the number 1, so they were like, "Well, wait, he's going to be the savior." The patience for Tony is smaller because he's not the savior.
Shouldn't it be the opposite, though? You should have less patience for the guy that's supposed to be the savior.
When you know a guy's going to be the savior.
You didn't know he was going to be good.
We didn't know Odell Beckham was going to be a 1.
You thought Odell Beckham was going to be a star.
The dude thought that. Dude was drafted.
No one thought that.
Yes, the dude was drafted.
No, if you watch Odell Beckham's film, yes, he was dynamic. To me, is more closer than Tony than anything. To me, in my opinion. But I didn't know OBJ was going to be the number 1 star. I knew he was going to be number 1 receiver.
The savior for Eli Manning.
Money. No one would ever thought Odell Beckham was going to be number 1. No one. So how did
he was drafted to be the number 1.
Listen,
I would think
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would just think the thought process would be, I want to see the number 1, so I'd be pissed off if he was injured.
Exactly.
More.
Exactly.
When
I don't have more time.
When you're Tony's going to be a number 3 or 4 to start.
But we know how Tony could be, or what his roof is, what his ceiling is. This is why we need to see him on the field, because we've seen how dynamic he is. This is why we want him on the field. This is why we're like, get him on the field. But at the same time, we're like, listen, let's just wait, because he is that type of dynamic player. We're going to show that patience.
His first year at 152 yards. His second
year,
he was a quarterback. 260 yards.
He was a quarterback. He came to Florida as a quarterback.
No, they have him listed as a wide receiver.
No, but he came to Florida as a quarterback. That's how he came. He transitioned over to a wide receiver.
So these stats are quarterback stats, is what you're telling me?
No, I don't know. He might have just gotten a couple plays as a wide receiver on his freshman year, but he came in as a quarterback and they transitioned him over to wide receiver. I think even before he took a snap. So no, those are real stats. But he was not supposed to come in as a wide receiver. So it took him 2 years and a coaching change.
4 years.
Yeah, his 4th year is when he exploded. But you have to realize he was changing positions, and he was a gadget player at first, and then his senior year is when he exploded onto the scene because he learned a nuance.
He didn't do nothing.
His senior year, he didn't do nothing?
I said for 3 years, his freshman, sophomore, and junior year.
Because he was barely a gadget player at that point because he was transitioning into a new position. And
it took him 3 years to transition to be a wide receiver?
No, his junior year was pretty good, but he was injured.
He had 194 yards.
Receiving? Yeah, listen, there's a reason why he's a raw talent, but if he gets his route running down, he's going to be a stud. a lot of people are saying
this is just KT stats. I'm guessing going over, right?
yeah. A lot of people are saying
on,
because he exploded his senior year, that's he's got high bust potential. In my mind, he's just he's an ascending player. Whether it happened later or not.
If I had to, just curious, and it's probably way too hard to answer, but I'm gonna try it anyway. What would you think his average receiving yards were in his senior year when he blew up? What would you think his average per pass? It's too hard?
15.
Okay. How about you, Eli?
I'll say probably 12, to be honest.
All right. So let me ask you, if it was 12, would you be happy?
Yeah, that's a first down every catch.
15, you'd be really happy, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's 8.5. Okay, it's all because
that's the offense sucked.
He's still because he still remains a dynamic player in a short game, and he uses the gadget speed and the moves.
Exactly. Let's look at yards after catch.
He is though. His quarterback.
I know, but you're talking about screens and you're talking about slants. He's not a down the field guy. He's never in the NFL going to be a down the field guy.
I will give you.
Okay.
Craig, after we're done here, I'm going to show you some tape about some downfield passes. I promise you, he could do it.
He has. I don't need to see a film. I know he's caught a downfield pass. I'm saying at 70 catches.
We're beating the dead horse. We're beating the dead horse.
Yes.
We're all starting to do this.
All right. Get a pair of cleats and get on the field.
All right. Next topic.
Evan Ingram.
Give him patience.
No. We got 3 linebackers: Coughlin, Crowder, Ragland. Which one? Which should start? Which should be the backup? Do we need them both? I thought Ragland had terrible preseason, but I know that they were going to cut downs. So,
yeah, I mean, listen, I think Tay Crowder after last year earned himself a lot of serious snaps, man, because he showed some good things. Mr. Irrelevant no longer,
hold on.
Man.
You're right. I had the wrong stat. It was 14.
What was that?
It was 14.
Boom.
Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, Tony's gonna be a stud.
I had to let you know you were right.
Appreciate it. I appreciate that. So I wrote an article about Crowder, and I'm just so looking forward to seeing what he could do year 2, man.
Yeah.
But I do think, yeah, I think what Coughlin's going to be is a third down specialist pass rusher.
Let me just say this before you continue. Before you continue, Spiro, he got awfully quiet when you said
I could have not said anything.
Anyway, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I respect you. I respect it that you came back.
Yeah, listen. You're still missing the whole point. All I want to do is see him play.
We all do.
We all do. But we got to take our time with him. If we give OBJ that luxury, we got to give KT that luxury.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I've seen Ramses Barden. I've seen Sonoris Moss. I've seen all these guys. All I want to do is see him play, and he's magically okay this week. And I just want to see him play because right now, to me, he's an anomaly. I want to see him play.
Okay.
Go ahead. Linebacker, Eli.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
I'm with you on the Crowder thing. Crowder's a fun guy. And Martinez said he was one of the best rookies he's ever played with, which was very cool.
No, listen, Tay Crowder. Yeah, Tay Crowder's that guy. You know what I mean? Spiro, I'm going to let you continue.
No.
Tay Crowder. That's it, man. I don't give Ragland if they want to. I don't even think they should rotate. I think the guy Tay Crowder definitely should be there. He's earned that spot. We've seen what he can do before he got injured, I believe, last season, if I'm not mistaken. He ruptured his Achilles.
He got hurt on the fumble recovery for a touchdoon.
Yeah.
So again, he earned that spot in my opinion, and I think he's going to continue from there. But he's definitely Mr. Relevant at this point. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, the only thing I always thought about Crowder was I know he's a sideline guy, but he's not very big.
He can't shed blocks very well. He's a little weak. He was when he came to Georgia, he was a running back. So he made the transition to linebacker, and you could tell he's definitely not built like a normal big time linebacker. Yeah. And that's why I think Ragland's going to come in on first downs or not even first downs on run heavy teams say the Redskins with Gibson. I think you're going to see a lot more of Ragland than you would,
wait a second. So this cannot be right.
What?
I swear they have him listed at 255. There's no way that's 255.
Crowder?
Yeah.
You think he's less?
I mean, when you look at him, doesn't he look like kind of slight?
He's probably 255 is pretty light for.
I'm not saying that sounds pretty small.
Yeah.
Wow, but he looks like a freaking linebacker, right? Damn, 255. I don't know if that's right.
255 is light. It's
Tay
light.
Crowder is small. He looks very smaller than
look,
255.
Carter Coughlin's only 235.
Yeah.
That's small.
This is the problem with those. They don't have a prototypical guy that's a linebacker too right now because they all a little light on the right hand side. Racklin's going to give them that beef there. So I like the rotation of those three guys.
I'm amazed that he's 6'1", 255. Because that was my thing. That he looks slight. You know,
he
what
does
I mean?
Look slight. Maybe he bulked up. Maybe he hit that gym, baby.
That's true. It is true. Maybe he is.
He needs to bulk up.
It's true.
That's what he needed to do.
Spiro's the film guy. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he watched that guy. As far as Tay Crowder and how he sheds tackles and etc. He did look light his rookie year. I don't know if he might have gained that muscle, but I totally agree with you. He wasn't that guy that he's very weak. But I'm hoping he hit the gym this offseason.
He needed to, man. That was the one thing he needed to do.
255, I thought was still light to me, but I guess that's average size, I'm guessing. But I thought that was light too, man. But
it's still light.
Hope that, to me, and you know better than me when it comes to that.
If you're a 4-3 team, right? You're going to be 255 to 265, right? But when you're a 3-4, these guys got to be able to move. So being light's not bad.
No.
And listen, Crowder balled last year.
Yes, he did.
He's a fun player to watch, and so is Carter Coughlin. So if they package Coughlin in, he's also a fun guy. I think Ragland just made the team because of how bad Downs was.
I'm so excited to see what Graham's going to do with these players, man. Like he's got so much more to work with this year than he had last year. He's got a full year of McKinney with 3 safeties now. He's got Ogilari, Carter, Jimenez on the edge where he didn't have that last year. Like you got we were just talking about the 3 guys in the middle linebacker position. I'm just jacked up to see what Graham's going to concoct, man, for the defense.
I'm excited too, Spiro. But in some cases, when everyone gets their pieces back and they upgrade, sometimes they go back and they say, "Man, less was more." I hope he doesn't hit that.
I hope that's not it.
I hope he doesn't hit that.
There's only so many balls
to
go around.
Right. You know what I mean? So I hope he doesn't hit that rut. The fact that he has better players in different position groups at this time. You know what I mean? So I want to see this defense at least be top 5. You know what I mean? I want to see that. I don't want to see them take a step back.
You may find that happens on the offense, then the defense is okay. Because the offense now, with Tony comes in and blows it up, but Shep's having a good year, and then you got, Slayton and Gallaudet. You may have more trouble on the offensive side with the, passing the ball around. I think defensive-wise, I still think you're fine because what do you have every year? Injuries.
Yeah. I'm going to trust the genius that is Patrick Graham, Yale graduate. He knows what he's doing out there. He's a smart dude, man. And I honestly think if he wanted to next year, he's got a head coaching job if he wants. I'm so glad that he's back this year. Yeah. And if we get a top 5 defense, it's gonna be a hard time keeping him here because man, that'd be 2 years in a row of top 10 defenses with not a ton to work with. Like he's got some talent, but like Graham's a really good coordinator, man.
I think this year he's got some serious talent. I mean,
definitely upgraded. Put
it this way: the New York Giants defense, every one of those players could start on another team.
Oh yeah. I don't disagree with that.
Hands down.
All right.
You know what I mean? But go ahead. Sorry.
Over under.
Yes, let's do it. All right.
I wanted to talk about trading Evan Ingram, but we're not going to have time.
No.
Because everybody knows that we should trade him.
We all know what your thoughts are. All right. So let's throw this out there for everybody. What about 15 touches over under for Saquon Barkley? What do you got? Week 1.
I'll go first. I'll go under.
Okay.
I'll go under.
What do you think? Give me a number.
You're probably gonna be like, man, that's too low. But I'm gonna say about 8 to 9. I'm gonna think of the single to try to bring him up slow.
That's fine. Yeah, he hasn't gotten hit yet. So
and I don't know if they're gonna ramp him up to. I mean, and 10 touches is low too. Like in that 10 range, 9-8 range is very low. And 15 it could be low, but not for Saquon. But for Saquon. But I just think I think it might be either the 10 or sometimes an 8 or 9. I mean, somewhere in the 8 or 9. In my opinion,
we don't need him. Hopefully, we don't need him.
I'm hoping that these guys can carry that load because again, I don't think they're gonna work him back in that particular quick setting, in my opinion.
What do you got,
but again,
Craig?
I could be wrong.
What are you thinking?
I mean,
15 over under.
I'm going under. I'm going under, and I think Eli's on to something with the almost like a preseason game where maybe he gets a series in the first quarter and a series in the second quarter, and then he's done.
Right.
I can't really see it. Even if he was hot, I can't see. Like, how crazy would it be is if he ripped off a 50-yard touchdown and then they sat him the rest of the game?
Yeah, right. They're gonna have a lot of angry Giants fans, man.
Yeah.
But I think
it's smart though.
All those things can happen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I agree.
I mean, he can break a run at any time, but I don't see. I'm going with the under.
That's fair. And I'm going to agree with you guys because and it's not necessarily because it's week 1 and he's coming off ACL, which is the obvious things, but week 2 is only 5 days after week 1. No, 4 days. Sorry. So you don't want to run him in. Yeah. You don't want to run him into the ground with 20 carries and then throw him back out there the next Thursday and run him again. So I agree. I think it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be like 12, 13 touches. They want to keep him like maybe 6, 7 rushes and like 2, 3, catches here and there per half. And I think they're going to just ease him in, and hopefully we don't need him. Hopefully Booker can control the clock. They pound Booker the whole time, and maybe Brightwell, and we won't have to really use him that much. But I think it's going to be under. Yeah.
Oh. I don't even get that move.
Oh man, hey, he doesn't fumble, or he didn't fumble in the preseason, so we'll see. Anyways, let's talk about another guy. What about Kenny Golladay over under 6 catches? What are your thoughts, Greg?
Under.
Yeah.
Again, it comes back to what I said before about KT. I don't think these guys have gotten, enough reps to get in the mix. I mean, in fact, I think Kenny Golladay seems to be a rhythm type of guy. Like, as the game goes, he starts getting better. You know what I mean? And then he starts getting chippy. Throw me the ball. You don't
think our man's gonna throw on the ball?
No. Garrett in that bland offense week 1. I don't know if he'll really have the opportunity. Can you imagine the dude got, 10 targets and 6 catches game 1? We'd all be like this. Holy smoke, that was awesome.
I know.
So I'm purely going on track record of what I've seen and what's happened. I kind of got to lean on the under.
Right. Fair. I dig that. What do you got here, Eli?
To be honest with you, for argument's sake, I'll go with the over. But in actuality, it's going to be under. And because the offense, man, I just don't think it's that dynamic for him to have 6 catches. I say somewhere in the 4 range, maybe if I was to put a number on it.
Okay.
But yeah, I gotta go with the under, man.
That's the question.
That's another question too. Yeah.
If he's gonna play like I don't know, 25 snaps, how many catches, how many balls is he gonna get thrown his way? And that's why. But for argument's sake, I'm gonna actually say it's gonna be a push. I'm pushing at 6 catches on a dot. That's what I'm going to go with because, listen, that's 3.5. That's really not that much when you break it down,
Right.
That was your spot to go because I can.
Because I can, and because my boys at Pickup, they got my back. And and if you guys want to bet on a couple of things like this, sorry, not bet. If you guys want to play around with things like this, I would go to Pickup and play this because they throw out these fun little games for you guys. Over unders, props here, props there, man. So I'm going to say they're going to push. I'm going to take my money back at 6, and I'm going to have Kenny Golladay 6 catches, about 60 yards, and a touchdown. Mark it down.
All right, give me one more, Spiro. Give me one more.
All right, one more. So who we got here? I'm going to go with another walking wounded coming back, Kyle Rudolph, who looks like is going to be the tight end 1 because the end comes down. Caden Smith got hurt. I'm really pissed off about Caden Smith.
When did Caden Smith get hurt?
Oh, you didn't hear the news? He mispracticed calf, dude. This was his chance to shine, and he blew it. So, listen, it's going to be a heavy Kyle Rudolph game. I know. Your boy's going to miss, Craig. He's blowing his opportunity. You only got 1 shot, right? Did Eminem say that?
Did not miss a chance to blow.
Yes.
He blew it.
So Caden is blowing his chance. So we got Kyle Rudolph coming off of foot surgery. Gonna get. He said, hey, he said in his interview today, "Bring it all on. I'm ready to have tight end 1 snaps."
Who said
So
that?
he's
Rudolph?
ready to go. Rudolph is ready to go, man. So we're gonna find out what he's got, and I'm gonna set the over under on him 4 catches over under. What do you got? Eli, go first.
I'll go first. I'll say over.
Okay.
And the reason why, if the offense and everything is clicking, even though we say it was pretty dull from Jason Garrett, he's a tight end heavy type of guy. So that's going to be Daniel Jones' safety blanket as the tight end. So I say he's going to go over. I know you said over on Kenny, but I'm going to say 6 catches,
Okay.
75 and a touchdown.
Ooh, nice little day for TE1. What do you got? What do you got there, Craig? What do you think?
You said 4 was the
Yeah. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. He hasn't and hey, if we're going by your preseason theory, he hasn't got any preseason time. So
that's what I'm saying. How are these guys? Like, I don't know.
But who's going to catch these passes? Are we just not going to? Somebody's got to catch passes out there.
Well, Rudolph's been around for 10 years, so he might.
Yeah, he's a vet. He's a vet, man.
All right, heck with it. I'm gonna go over.
Okay, I respect.
I'm gonna go over because he's probably a good safety blanket for Jones. I see this whole game going to be now. I'm throwing it all out. I can see Shepard and Rudolph being the guys, and Slayton and Galladay having 1 or 2 catches each. That's it. I see Shep having 70 yards. I see now Rudolph with like Eli said, a touchdown and 6 catches. I can see that. I think Booker's gonna break some runs, and the rest of the game is gonna be defense.
Yeah. And I mean, it's gonna be an ugly game. I definitely think it, which is why for me personally, I'm also going over because I think it's gonna be a grind it out, get first downs, and that's actually right down Jason Garrett's freaking tailpipe because he loves the slow offenses, and he's got that big lumbering tight end now in Kyle Rudolph. I think DJ is going to pepper him with a couple of tosses, mainly because I think the defense for the Broncos is really good. They got 2 good cornerbacks in Fuller and Surtain. So it's going to be tough to get the wide receivers the ball. And this is where a guy like Rudolph could move the change. 5 catches, big touchdown,
And if you watched any of the news today, what's his name? Ball was already
talking
on how it's going to be an easy win. I'm like, of all the guys to be talking smack, it's that guy.
It's very debatable whether he should open his mouth considering his history, but we're not going to go into off the field.
Yeah, like that. Of all the guys to be talking junk, is that guy?
I don't understand. Yeah. And we know. Let's throw it back to pickup here too. Somehow the Giants are underdogs at home, despite finishing with a better record last year and having a better roster, in my opinion. It's not making sense to me here how the Giants are the underdogs at home.
Listen, I respect Teddy Bridgewater, but come on.
Me too. I'm a huge Teddy Bridgewater fan. They're coming West Coast to East Coast. They're a worse team than the Giants were last year, and somehow they're the favorites. They're getting a lot of love. And I don't quite understand.
No, the Giants are getting a lot of disrespect. That's the thing.
True.
The Giants getting a lot of disrespect, but rightfully so because
what else is new?
History, hopefully should repeat itself. But history.
New York hate is a real thing.
Amen. Agreed on that.
I agree.
All right. Well, look,
that was a fun show, guys.
Another episode of the Giants, guys. So I'm looking for a sack out of Ogilari, a touchdown out of KT. I'm looking for production out of these guys. I don't know how you do it with no snaps, but hell,
somebody's got to do it.
It's got to be done.
Oh yeah,
somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to step up. And we drafted these rookies for a reason. Let's see what they got. Baby. Yeah, let's go.
I'm on board with all those guys doing it. I always worry. These guys get soft tissue injuries. They don't play. They miss camp. They usually get re-injured. But if the Giants are going to go anywhere with 10 wins the floor, if they're going to do it, what do they say? We got to come out fast and we got to come out hot. That's not Jason Garrett's MO. You know what I mean? But if we could come out fast and we could come out hot, right? First play of the game, slant to Tony, bubble screen to Booker and a seam pass to Rudolph. You're like, wow! But we know it's not gonna be that.
Hey, I'm hoping that this whole preseason has been a kind of a keep it vanilla. Let's not show anything. I know I'm living in a dream world, and that's probably not going to be the case. But man, wouldn't it be cool to see like first series a bunch of motion and like a jet sweep or to Tony or
First
a wide
play
receiver
slant
screen?
to Tony to the
I'd
house.
love to see that.
Yeah, like
The
let's
place
see
will
some.
go crazy.
Oh my God, let's see some freaking innovation here. Let's go. Come on, Garrett.
First place slant to Tony to the house, the place would go
Let's go.
bonkers. Then I would
Roof
have
off.
to just eat more crow. But that'd be fun. Which, by the way, I got no problem doing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Same,
Let's go.
Same.
No
Yeah,
problem
hopefully you can be that guy.
All I want to do is see this cat play.
All that matters is we are finally here, boys. It's week 1. I am so amped up. We don't have to talk about bullshit anymore. The real game start.
And me and Mikey Fresh will be at the game. We're gonna stream live from the stadium, probably like 2:30 to 3:30 before the game. It's a 4:20 start, and should be a lot of fun. You're listening to the Giants guys, and this is the NY Giants Rush crew. Make sure you follow. Make sure you upload, download, share it, and please, I don't know if I asked that much. You gotta subscribe. No, you got to do the hat thing.
I got that. Got that somewhere.
You got to do that. You gotta subscribe, people. Like, you all love the content, you all follow, but you're not subscribing. We need, as content creators, we need the subscribe button. Bang it right now. Bang, 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 bang. All right. And that's all I got.